KB 507-4109 rolls right off the tongue. That's the January 2026 update that broke everything, and it's not an outlier. It's just this month's entry in what was already a catastrophic 2025 for Windows updates. So Windows forces an update. 45 minutes later, your Discord is blowing up, and you're still staring at this screen working on updates.
Bill Gates freaks out. After February, Windows 11 update breaks. Thousands of PCS. Bill Gates is freaking out as the February Windows 11 update detonates chaos across thousands of PCS, leaving users trapped with black screens. What should have been a normal Patch Tuesday exploded into total digital disaster, smashing core system functions and shattering trust in the world's most dominant operating system. This isn't a minor hiccup. It's a full-blown, system-crushing nightmare that has everyday users terrified.
Microsoft has announced that the next major Windows 11 update, 26H1, is not for your PC.
And this is where it gets uncomfortable, because this wasn't just some users. Within hours of the February Windows 11 update rolling out, forums were filling up, installations stuck at random percentages, error codes that looked like someone smashed a keyboard, systems rebooting into nothing, black screens, no taskbar, no start menu, just a cursor floating in empty space.
Now, just a few weeks ago, Microsoft's first update of 2026 bricked thousands of PCs. We're talking black screens, boot failures, Outlook not wanting to open. Microsoft's official solution? Uninstall the update and wait for the next one.
One IT admin said 3 out of 5 boot attempts ended with the taskbar gone. 3 out of 5. That's not rare. That's a coin flip with worse odds. Wi-Fi showed connected, but there was no internet. It's almost insulting. The icon says everything's fine. Your browser says otherwise. Bluetooth devices vanished mid-session. Controllers disconnected. Headsets disappeared. Meetings dropped. Games crashed. Work stopped.
Fun fact, Windows doesn't usually do H1 updates. The last one was in May 2021, before AI punched a hole in the ozone layer of society.
And here's the key part. This wasn't some experimental insider build. This was a public update, the kind millions of PCs install automatically. So people started asking the obvious question, how does something this basic break?
Because they came so abstracted from the money with this latest AI boom. And that is, you cannot spend your way to profitability if nobody is buying the product.
Because we're not talking about a niche feature buried in advanced settings, we're talking about networking, the taskbar, core system behavior. That's the skeleton of Windows.
Microsoft says 26H1 is based on a different Windows core. So while existing PCs and Snapdragon X2 based PCs will both get security, quality, and feature updates, they'll be different updates, and never the twain shall meet.
Now Microsoft says it's fixed. They point to the known issues page. They say they've resolved installation failures. They say patches are rolling out. But then you scroll Reddit, you check Microsoft answers. You see thread after thread of users still stuck, still rolling back updates, still running system restores like it's 2009.
Windows and other programs love to stuff crap in here. Teams, OneDrive, Xbox, half the crap you don't even use.
There's a disconnect. The official message says resolved. The lived experience says not even close. And when that gap keeps happening, trust starts cracking.
But now in recent years, we have Copilot entries for Notepad, Paint, and File Explorer. And people are like, why?
This wasn't even the first hit this year. Just weeks earlier, another Windows 11 update caused File Explorer issues. File Explorer, the thing you use to open files. Now networking and UI elements are wobbling. That's not isolated. That's a pattern forming. And here's where the story gets bigger than one bad update. At the same time, Windows stability is slipping, and Microsoft is aggressively pushing AI integration. Copilot is baked into the system. AI summaries, AI assistants everywhere. The messaging is clear. AI is the future. But stability doesn't make headlines. AI does.
They said they're going to reassess Windows 11 AI push, Copilot clutter, and recall design.
There was even that awkward situation where an official blog post appeared to suggest training AI models on pirated books, and then it quietly disappeared. That raised eyebrows, because if resources are being poured into AI expansion, what happens to the boring, unglamorous work of keeping the operating system stable? Operating systems aren't supposed to be exciting. They're supposed to be reliable.
Meta and YouTube were taken to court in California this week to defend against accusations of pushing highly addictive apps on children. CEO of Meta and human-fish hybrid Mark Zuckerberg is expected to take the stand next week.
And this isn't just Microsoft. Look across big tech. At Meta, internal emails showed teens were labeled a top priority. Growth, engagement, time spent. In court, executives said that's not how they operate anymore. But former insiders described a culture where press cycles mattered more than deep investigations into harm.
Security vulnerabilities getting patched is a great thing, right? Sure, if the patches worked. But Microsoft's patch quality has completely collapsed. Windows Central called 2025 Windows 11's, quote, worst year yet. Nonstop bugs, broken updates, unwanted features, pushing users to the breaking point.
That tension between public messaging and internal priorities keeps showing up. Intel is shifting customer support toward AI chatbots. One user reported a crashing CPU, and the bot suggested updating a graphics driver. That's automation replacing depth, efficiency replacing understanding. Ring doubled down on its neighborhood camera search features despite backlash. Executives talking about zeroing out crime, big promises, bigger data collection. See the pattern? Growth, AI, ecosystem expansion, data. Meanwhile, the fundamentals start to wobble.
I put files into my OneDrive on my PC. They uploaded to the cloud, so I deleted them on my computer. The damn thing deleted the online copy, and now the file's gone. I hate OneDrive.
Windows runs on over 1 billion devices globally. When thousands of PCs experience failed installs and broken connectivity in hours, that's not just noise, that's signal. Enterprises notice. IT departments pause updates. They delay deployment cycles. They test more aggressively because they don't trust automatic rollouts anymore. And when enterprise customers start hesitating, that matters.
Now, the issue isn't that Windows needs security patches. The issue is that the patches are the problem. You're choosing between security vulnerabilities and a broken operating system. You guys remember monthly Patch Tuesday? Well, guess what? That's gone. Updates drop constantly now, multiple times a week. And each one is rolling the dice on whether your PC works tomorrow.
Here's what really hurts. Updates used to feel routine. You'd restart, wait a few minutes, and move on. Now, Patch Tuesday feels like a gamble. You hover over the restart button and think, is this the one that breaks everything? That psychological shift is powerful.
They're going to stop cramming Copilot buttons everywhere, and they're even going to review whether Copilot buttons are even necessary in places like Paint and Notepad and, other brain dead places that all of us are going, why?
Because trust in an operating system is quiet. You don't think about it when it's working. You only think about it when it fails. And lately, people are thinking about it more. Some will say every OS has bugs. That's true. But not every OS breaks core components at scale while simultaneously marketing itself as the future of AI-powered productivity.
Silent part that Microsoft won't say, you're not getting better software. You're getting worse QA. So why?
When Wi-Fi connects but delivers nothing, it becomes symbolic. The system tells you everything's fine. Reality says it isn't. When the taskbar disappears repeatedly, it feels like control slipping away from the user. And then the bigger question forms. Is Windows still the priority, or is it becoming the delivery mechanism for something else? Subscriptions, cloud services, AI features layered on top.
Effectively, one of the main features is some people are frustrated that AI is getting crammed everywhere. I mean, even yesterday, I had talked about the DuckDuckGo situation because I had removed it from one of my main web browsers because it's just AI assistant summaries and AI this and AI that. I got sick of it.
Because stability is invisible. It doesn't trend. It doesn't spike stock prices. AI announcements do. That's why this moment feels bigger than one February update. It feels like a shift. The foundation is being asked to carry more weight while cracks are forming underneath. For decades, Windows has been dependable enough and everywhere. That dominance created comfort. People built careers on it. Companies built infrastructure on it. But comfort disappears fast when the basics start failing. And once users start hesitating before clicking update, something fundamental has changed. This isn't panic, it's pattern recognition. And if this is the direction things are heading, flashy AI on top, instability underneath, then the real freakout isn't just about one broken update. It's about what it says for the future of Windows itself. And here's the part that really makes people angry.
Well, it's because Microsoft engineering isn't where Microsoft's money goes anymore. They gutted QA teams to chase AI, Copilot everywhere, Recall, Paint with AI, Notepad with AI.
While your computer is struggling to connect to Wi-Fi, while your taskbar is vanishing like it owes someone money, Microsoft is on stage talking about Copilot. AI in the sidebar, AI in your search, AI rewriting your emails, AI everywhere. You can't make this up. There was even that official blog post that casually suggested training AI models on pirated books. It went up. People noticed. It disappeared. Quietly, like it never happened. That alone tells you how aggressive the AI race has become. Ship first, clean up later. So let's stop pretending this is random.
The sign-in UI, it doesn't just pop up naturally. Yeah, I had Linus from LTT who had to click through a couple AI prompts to trigger it. And Microsoft is so desperate to get you logged in that they're adding account prompts to Paint for optional features that nobody asked for.
Developers don't have infinite time. Engineering teams don't have infinite focus. If leadership is screaming AI is the future in every earnings call, guess where the resources go? Not to polish network drivers, not to make sure the taskbar survives reboot number 4. They go to Copilot demos. And that's why this feels different. Windows used to be the main character. Now it feels like background infrastructure for an AI strategy. Your operating system, the thing your entire digital life runs on, is becoming a side quest.
I just click Start Backup, but what you're not realizing is when you click on Start Backup, you're actually moving the contents of that folder from your PC to OneDrive, i.e. the cloud.
And it's not just Microsoft. Intel is pushing customer support toward AI chatbots. A user reports a crashing CPU. The bot suggests updating the graphics driver. That's not support. That's automated guessing with corporate branding. We're replacing experienced engineers with predictive text and calling it innovation. Reliability is boring, AI is exciting, and boring things are being neglected. Then comes Patch Tuesday, the monthly ritual. It used to be routine. Now it feels like Russian roulette with a restart button.
When that fails to connect to their servers, that's when you can see login prompts for Paint. So either A, their architecture is so broken that opening Paint on your own computer tries to phone home first, or B, this is intentional and they're really, really bad at hiding it.
Updates roll out and suddenly machines are stuck in the install loops. Enterprises freeze deployments. IT departments are scrambling to roll back patches. Sysadmins are in group chats asking who updated first and what exploded. And here's the brutal part. Users don't even have control anymore. Windows schedules updates. It nudges you. It forces restarts. It decides when your system changes. And when it breaks, you deal with the fallout. That's not empowerment. That's surrender. The psychological damage is real. People hesitate before clicking update. That should never happen. Updates are supposed to mean safer, stronger, better. Instead, they feel like punishment. Patch Tuesday isn't Easter anymore. It's Lent. You restart and atone for your computer sins, hoping the system forgives you and boots properly.
And while you could make some settings, I'm not going to save cookies and rely on settings and rely on passkeys and things like that to save DuckDuckGo settings.
And while all this chaos is happening at the surface, the outside world is getting uglier. Shiny hunters breached major corporations again. One hit exposed 800,000 employee records. Names, emails, salaries, birthdays, real human data. Another breach involved 1.7 million corporate files. That's not abstract. That's livelihoods. At the same time, ATM malware called Plotus has jackpotted more than 700 machines in 2025 alone. Around $20 million ripped straight out of ATMs by forcing the hardware to spit out cash. No fake cards, no clever tricks, just malware talking directly to the machine. So here's the terrifying question nobody wants to say out loud.
Microsoft collects more data from these activities than its users may realize.
From a Windows recall that records everything you do on the computer to new telemetry that can potentially track your interactions over the internet.
If Windows updates can't reliably protect your taskbar, how confident are you that they're hardening your system against threats like that? Are we trading stability for surface-level security patches that may or may not even hold? Because updates are sold as protection. Install immediately for security. But when those same updates destabilize core functions, trust evaporates. And once trust goes, everything else starts to wobble. Now look at Microsoft's ecosystem: telemetry, cloud sync, AI analysis, constant integration. Windows isn't just an operating system anymore. It's a node in a massive data infrastructure. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Stability doesn't drive revenue. Data does. Engagement does. AI integration does. You don't get applause on Wall Street for saying, "We made Windows slightly more stable this quarter." You get applause for saying, "We embedded AI across the entire ecosystem." So the incentives are clear. And when incentives shift, priorities shift. That's why this February update feels bigger than just a glitch. It feels like a symptom, a crack in something that used to feel unshakable. Now let's slow down for a second, because not everything is apocalypse-level doom.
And you can't install Windows 11 without a Microsoft account. What are we talking about? There used to be a command. It was OOBE/bypass NRO. That's what you could get to skip it. Well, Microsoft killed that in 2025 for, quote, security. But people found other workarounds, and guess what? Microsoft is killing those too.
Remember that headphone panic? But when you actually read the study, it wasn't hysteria. It was about regulatory loopholes, about companies pushing chemical limits right up to the legal line, and swapping in barely regulated substitutes when rules tighten. That's nuance. The problem wasn't instant poisoning. It was structural decay, slow erosion. Incentives are bending toward how much can we get away with? That's the difference between panic and pattern recognition. Now bring Bill Gates into this, not literally panicking in a room, but symbolically. Windows was his empire. For 35 years, it dominated. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't trendy. It was just everywhere. Stable enough, powerful enough, untouchable.
Microsoft are trying their best to get you to move your files into the cloud, and they're really using some underhanded tactics to get you to do this.
Has Microsoft drifted so far into cloud first, AI first thinking that it forgot what made Windows dominant in the first place? And here's a spicy thought. Is Windows becoming an ad platform with a kernel? More integrations, more prompts, more Copilot, more cloud nudges. It feels less like a tool and more like a constantly evolving service layer feeding a bigger ecosystem. Kind of like Substack blending journalism with prediction markets. Engagement over purity. So what happens if this continues? Enterprises quietly explore alternatives. Linux curiosity rises. Trust erodes slowly, not dramatically. Security risks grow when instability creeps in. And AI keeps getting layered on top of foundations that feel less solid than they used to. Windows feels too big to fail. But so did a lot of things. When have you ever seen people genuinely nervous about updating their operating system? That reaction alone says something. So is this just turbulence in a massive system? Or are we watching the slow unraveling of a tech empire chasing AI spectacle while the core engineering starts slipping? And if your taskbar disappeared this week, you're not alone.